What up, famski? This is your friendly neighborhood resident Portuguese thick boy from New Bedford, Massachusetts, Mr. Eric Lima over here. You are watching yet another video episode from my secondary YouTube channel vlogging, which I present to all of you. My sentimental thoughts come from my heart and my soul, and my mental oddball shenanigans come from the mind and brain. This is EML77 TV, episode number 945. That's right, we're about 55 episodes away from 1,000. I'm looking for. So, I hope you guys are having a good Monday. For those of you who are, everybody hates Mondays. Mondays has been always been the Monday, like, oh, we're going to go back to work, get back to grind. We missed the weekend already. And it's a little cool, a little cold, and possibly a little, but not as super frozen as, I mean, we're at the end of October, basically. This is the last full week of October, as you know. This coming Saturday is another day off for me, which is my first Halloween off. This is going to be very interesting on the long run. When we do my thing, I do my thing, and possibly play some. I'm gonna play. I think for the Nintendo Switch, I'm gonna play some Night Slashers for Halloween this Saturday. Forget these thumbs. So a little bit of apropos for for that holiday. So even though I'm not big into Halloween as much, the scary movies and all, beating up some zombies with bare fists, that'll be something that I would love to do. So I can't do that in real life because no such thing as zombies for one. Plus, if I get bitten, if I get bitten, I'll probably become one, which I don't want to be. I want to be a normal human being. So, they do it in the movies, though, but you know what, and why not? Next best thing to do it. Bust in the Nintendo Switch, put in some Night Slashers, and boom, and defend the earth against them, okay? Praise the Lord. I don't have to worry about that in real life, but we lose some deals with zombies, but not off the, I'm going to bite you and take your brains, type of thing. It's like their brains have been already taken from them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, out of there. Alrighty then. Oops. As you know, my little background's a little differently, huh? I did some straightening out over the weekend, and, we're good. So, we're ready to go. Hopefully, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. So, this is probably the most emotionally driven WWE pay-per-view, Hell in a Cell, that I've ever watched. There were 3 major matches. 2 of the major matches had so much major emotion behind it. It's a little crazy. You know what I mean? It is a little crazy. And just, it was just nuts. I'm going to tell you a lot of emotions in it. Hell in a Cell, it kicked off. The kickoff match was the 24/7 championship being on the line. R-Truth versus Drew Gulak. That was added last moment. And Truth ended up winning the matchup after a hard-fought match against Drew Gulak after a little antics with Little Jimmy, which, and then the Lucha House Party and Akira Tozawa were chasing R-Truth and stopping by the kickoff panel with Charlie Caruso, Jeff Jarrett, Hall of Famer Peter Rosenberg, Jerry King Lawler, and Booker T, and Charlie. I think I mentioned Charlie Caruso already. Drew Gulak, Jeff Jarrett guys the microphone. Drew Gulak goes, "John Cena, you suck." I'm like, does he want to call out John Cena? I personally can't. I seriously can't. You seriously just want to say, "John Cena, you suck." Drew Gulak, man, Drew Gulak. And R-Truth as his childhood hero. R-Truth's older than John Cena, about, 4 or 5 years? God bless R-Truth. R-Truth never changed. R-Truth's hilarious. So, and the Universal title match to kick off Hell in a Cell was so emotionally driven. I mean, the consequences were pretty high in this matchup. Should Roman Reigns lose the match, he's no longer the tribal chief, he's no longer a Universal champion, yada. But should Jey Uso say, "I quit," him and his brother Jimmy have to fall in line to the tribal chief, that is Roman Reigns. And if they refuse to do it, they're out of the dynasty. I have a feeling that the Usos are going to be falling in line very willingly. Now, maybe against their will and per stipulation, but I think they're going to have a killer instinct to the point where they need to challenge they're going to challenge the Street Profits for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Street Profits and Usos, that'll be a high-spirited matchup, and I personally cannot wait to see if that match goes down. I'm sure Roman Reigns, as it is behest, it could happen. So they went at it. It got to a point where a strap was involved. Roman Reigns says, "I don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. You're making me doing it," and everything else. And it was so driven. It was the matchup was so emotionally driven to the point where Roman Reigns broke down and cried. He cried. He cried, and it got to the point where Jimmy Uso got involved and said, "Hey, Uso, we're right there. We're right there with it. Whatever it is you're going through, we're there with you." All right, Jimmy Uso clasped hands with Roman Reigns, the two of them, and then Roman Reigns got him that guillotine choke to the point where Jey Uso had no choice, saying, "I quit, I quit, I quit." So Roman Reigns, as a result, because the officials were in the ring, referees heard Jey Uso say, "I quit." But the bell, the match was over. It was so emotionally driven to the point where officials, referees came out. It was crazy. And then, in a rare appearance, the Wild Samoans, Afa, Roman Reigns' uncle, and his father, Sika, appeared on stage and crowned him the tribal chief. And the Usos had to watch on, had to look on. So Friday Night SmackDown is going to be very interesting, to say the least. It's crazy, I'm telling you, with a emotionally driven matchup to the point. And so it's a battle of musicians. Elias versus Jeff Hardy. Elias still thinks that Jeff Hardy ran him over with a car that kept him out of the action for 4 months. And Jeff Hardy says he did not do it. Somehow Sheamus, red hair, red beard. Someone says Sheamus did it. But still, you know, it was a high spirited matchup, another emotional matchup. But Jeff Hardy clobbered Elias in the back with the guitar, unlike Jeff Hardy like, but got Elias to win by disqualification. And it got to I think Jeff Hardy did not care whether or not winning or losing the matchup, but is preserving his innocence. And that in itself, man, I'm telling you, it was crazy. It was totally crazy. It was totally crazy. I mean, so I'm starting to think that if Sheamus confesses up to this crime, maybe, just maybe, Elias and Jeff Hardy could join forces and collab on the next song. You got to hear some of Elias' songs. Some of Elias' songs have been uploaded by the WWE Music Group on their YouTube channel. Couple of huge, and his album comes out and drops tonight. Universal Truth. I can't, the man's a talented singer and the man's a talented guitar player. That's all I'm going to say about Elias. He is a talented man. Do I want to work with Elias? Attitude-wise, no. But the fact is, I respect his talent, and Elias can sing, he can play guitar. I'll tell you one thing, and I wouldn't be surprised if Elias and Jeff Hardy join forces and collab, because Jeff Hardy is a musician as well. That's why you hear him shredding that guitar this past Monday night. So tonight on Raw, that's going to be a very interesting, to say the least. Interesting situation, to say the least. Now, the Money in the Bank matchup is not the ladder match. Money in the Bank matchup is the briefcases on the line. Otis to defend that against The Miz. The two went back and forth until John Morrison was caught by referee Jessica Carr with the briefcase. He's like, nothing. I didn't do nothing. And as you know, John Morrison shaved his beard. It looks like almost like Johnny Nitro when he was part of M&M back in the day in 2005. So Jessica Carr had him ejected, right? And John Morrison's still screaming and all that. Referee was distracted while, Otis was trying to get him a pin, but Miz pushed him off with his legs. But Tucker Knight grabbed the briefcase. He hit freaking Otis with it. He nailed Otis. I'm like, I thought it was an accident. But Tucker Knight had a look at his face and it wasn't. It was deliberate. I was like, what is going on? Miz picks up the victory and the briefcase. And Tucker Knight goes, I do everything for Otis. It was without me. And Otis was full of P&V. All right, you know what full of P&V means. Don't have to explain it. He attacks Miz and Morrison, and then he went after Tucker. Those two are going to go at it. I would not be surprised if Tucker Knight gets traded back to SmackDown, or Otis comes over to Monday Night Raw. Otis is I think Otis has had enough. He's had enough. He lost Mandy Rose and Tucker to Monday Night Raw. He lost the briefcase because of Tucker Knight turning on him. Now, I think, Heavy Machinery is split up due to the draft, but now Heavy Machinery is no more. And officially no more after that. It was really, really sad, I did not see that coming, to be honest with you. I could have saw the signs this past Friday night on SmackDown with with the Law and Otis case, but I didn't see nothing, and you had a feeling. I was shocked. I'm like, so heavy machinery's no more. It'd be very interesting how things go down tonight on Raw. It's going to be something else. And the SmackDown Women's Championship on the line in the Hell in a Cell matchup. Bayley to defend against Sasha Banks, the boss. I'll tell you one thing. This is another emotionally driven matchup. Let me tell you. I mean, these two ladies went at it. They did everything they could. Steel chairs, ladders, kendo sticks. They did everything to each other. And, you know, it got to the point where Sasha Banks resorted to a bank statement on a steel chair, wrapping Bayley's neck around that steel chair, and Bayley tapped out quickly. We have our new SmackDown Women's Champion, which Sasha Banks is the first woman to capture the Raw Women's Championship, SmackDown Women's Championship, and the Women's Tag Team title in one calendar year. According to Ryan Popola of The Bump, he mentioned that, and also is the third woman to capture the Grand Slam Championship. Bayley was the first, Asuka was the next second, and now Sasha Banks joins that elite club. So congratulations, Sasha Banks. Boston has himself the champion again, despite the fact the Patriots lost 33-6 yesterday to the 49ers. They're going to need to get their act straightened out if they ever wouldn't make the playoffs or even trying to go to the Super Bowl. But it won't be easy. I don't know what's wrong with Cam Newton. Hopefully they get this stuff together, but that's neither here nor there. We'll talk at Hell in a Cell recap. It was a hard-fought match between those two. I mean, they went back and forth, steel chairs, steel chairs, kendo sticks, not candlesticks. Kendo, Kendo, kendo sticks. Hey, candlesticks. Why do I fight with candlesticks? You get burned, get waxed? I don't get kendo sticks. So that was an insane match to say the least. So, but it was emotionally driven. I mean, both women poured their heart out in emotion. Got to respect them for that. It was right up there with the Reigns Uso matchup. Those two matches were even crazy. So earlier on the kickoff, Mustafa Ali, fed up with the Hurt Business, decided, well, he's going to challenge the Hurt Business to a matchup. But here's the thing. Somebody chooses a member of the Hurt Business, I'll choose a member of or you can choose a member of Retribution, whoever you want. So Bobby Lashley was ready to go for the Hurt Business, and then MVP chose Slapjack from Retribution. The two went at, and the United States title was on the line in this matchup. That's how confident Bobby Lashley is. And then, Bobby Lashley was beating up on Slapjack, trying to come up with some offense. And so it got to the point where then Slapjack made a mistake. Lashley put on the Hurt Lock. Slapjack tapped out. Game's over. Match is over, which Lashley retains the title. Then Mason T-Bar, by order of Mustafa Ali, attacked Lashley. Hurt Business arrived. Retribution bails out and everything else. The Reckoning was there. And it was an insane match, to say the least. And then you got McIntyre versus Randy Orton. Orton trying to go for his 14th championship. McIntyre trying to retain the title. It was everything, man. They had lead pipes, steel chairs. I mean, this matchup would have gone either way. They even fought on the roof of the Hell in a Cell. It was nuts. It was crazy. But in the end, they were trying to climb down from the roof of the cell. McIntyre fell 10 feet onto the announce table, and that was where the momentum shifted. And it got to the point where he was bleeding from the mouth and everything else. It was crazy. And then Randy Orton tried to go for the RKO first time around, and then Drew McIntyre hit the Claymore. Orton kicked out, and then all of a sudden, Drew McIntyre said, I'm going to do it again. He tried to Claymore again, slipped and missed, swung and missed. He tried to turn around, RKO out of nowhere. 1, 2, 3. Orton is your new WWE champion for the 14th time. He ties Triple H, and is two behind John Cena and Ric Flair. So talking about elite group right there, those four gentlemen with those world titles. Amazing. So, and what's my takeaway from Hell in a Cell? I think the two mostly driven matches inside the Hell in a Cell was Banks and Bailey versus Bailey, or Bailey versus Banks, and Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. Those two are the most emotionally driven matches. It makes you want to go, wow, it was intense. It was probably emotional pay-per-view ever. I mean, it's totally insane. What's going to happen tonight on Raw? We don't know. What's going to happen tonight on SmackDown? This Friday night on SmackDown? We don't know. But in the middle, we got another special event, NXT Halloween Havoc. A lot of stuff on the cards. I will give you my recap on that, and I will show. And I could do a picks and predictions thing. You never know. So that's what I'm thinking. So we will see what happens. All right. So that's all the time we have on this show. I will on this episode 945. I will see you in episode 946, and I'm hoping to get back on the right track. Okay. I will see you guys later. Guys, have a wonderful day and be blessed. Okay. Peace.